Hey everybody, welcome over to Court Addict with ATX Alli.
Hey everybody!
Throw the Goat came over, so thank you so much. And Lori got first. Lori wins. So I'm going to mention over here to y'all throw some love to Jay. Just a quick story back in, I think it was May. I'd first found Discord and started talking with Fozzie and Jay, and they were the ones who I guess you say gave me the confidence to do a live, gave me confidence to try it out and see where that went. So they've both been really helpful to me, and I really appreciate them.
Yeah, we love you, Jay. Feel better soon.
Yep, absolutely. But this is a good crowd over here, and oh hey, Fozzie's over here too. Thank you, Fozzie, for
Yeah.
your encouragement over the past few months, and heck, almost daily conversations. I really appreciate it. We even got Emily here. How about that? And we've got
We got lots of
Kathy.
people.
We've got
Oh,
celebrities
there's
here tonight. We got Kathy here.
yeah. Kathy. Must be her night off. She actually gets to hang out with us tonight. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Victoria and Kimby, and even Linus is pulling an all-nighter. So
That's awesome.
Lena sent me a funny picture. It was I guess a great grandfather and like a little baby. Supposedly it was like 4 generations apart. And the kid had eyes, the little kid had eyes bigger than a grown man's, but he was like a little baby. And the kid actually looked like an old man, just a little fella though. And so the old fella had the great grandfather had a Heineken, and I told Linus he should have pushed it over for the kid for the picture. That would have been
I can see you're doing that too.
absolutely.
Yes.
Blue Strat dude's asking, is that a picture of your dog or?
Yep, that's Lana, and I'm giving her all the loves right now. She's right at my feet underneath the covers because she has to be under the covers because those are the rules.
Yeah. So
So she's getting all the loves right now, I promise.
yeah. So Allie's got a reason she doesn't show her face. She's got a reason. She's got some stuff with kids and stuff like that. She just she's got a high profile. And she don't need to be out there.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah,
but
I've got some issues with family court drama, and I don't want to complicate that any further or make life worse for anybody else. So
yeah, we got
it's just
Idaho Wiggles here too.
oh hey, thanks for coming out.
Yep. Lori, just reach out to her. I can talk to you in Discord about it. I don't want to talk about it out here. It's kind of, it's not my place to talk about it here, but, reach out to me in Discord or reach out to Jay, just give her support. But she's not at home right now. So just reach out to her or reach out to me and I can give you a little bit of information. She doesn't mind that. She'd probably be fine with me talking about it here. I haven't asked her. And since I haven't asked her, I'm not going to. And so we're going to, okay, we got a 15-minute clip, and it's one of Kathy's judges because I remember it's the Minecraft judge. It's the one where the corner of it's pixelated, and I had mentioned it to Kathy
Oh
because
yeah.
I didn't remember seeing it in one of Kathy's streams, but it's an awfully funny clip, and so I wanted to bring it up. And then we've got an old one from Judge DeSanto. I don't think Alli has seen it, and there's a lot of neat stuff in it, so I thought I'd bring it up with her. But let's jump into the short one first. 15-minute clip.
Sounds good.
Uh-oh. Hold on a second. I get to find it now.
Don't lose it.
Yep. So hold on a second. Let me find my clip. Let me find the clip.
Please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Yep.
This is where we need the Jeopardy theme song.
Oh yeah, it's there. I just get to go find it. Let's see. Did you add it or did I add it?
I didn't add it.
Okay, so let's. Here we go. I found it. Here we go.
30th. admission to the probation officer that you used cocaine several times since you were sentenced on August 6th, the last time being August 29th. You understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
August 29th, a crack pipe was found in your vehicle. You understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
August 29th, you left the probation department without submitting a valid urine screen. You understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
August 29th, positive urine screen for cocaine. You understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Mulkey?
Yes, Your Honor. After speaking with my client, he will waive his final hearing in this case, and we would like to proceed to disposition and then be heard on that when appropriate, Judge. Thank you.
Is that what you want to do, Mr. Sanson?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your plea to those allegations?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. Well, that didn't last long.
Your Honor, I'm not going to make no excuses. I've learned that. I was a kid. I was playing with fire and I got burned, and I found out that it hurt. I found out that it hurt a lot. I messed, excuse my language, but I fucked up, and I apologize.
Well, I'm going to terminate your intervention, by the
I
way.
understand.
So, why? Apparently, I completely misread you when I gave you intervention. Because you've got some previous drug cases, and I guess I assumed that you wanted to get your shit together and stop using drugs, but you walk out the door after being in jail for 80 days on August 6th and immediately begin using cocaine. Why is that?
I mean, after it didn't take me until starting to go to the NA meetings in here to realize that I thought I was able to still hang out with the same people.
Why would you think that?
I honestly, Your Honor, I don't know. It's hard to cut ties, and I realize now that the girlfriend that I thought was my girlfriend is not my girlfriend.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I just can't affiliate with people like that and expect myself to do the right thing. I can't. I fail.
Why didn't you realize that when you sat in jail for 80 days the first time?
It's just I'm a slow learner. I play with fire. I burn myself and I realize how hot it is. And
all these chef analogies, right? So you've been a chef for how long? 13
years.
Okay. And where are some of the better places you've worked at?
The Standard on 185th. Well, which is actually the previous owner. What is my sponsor? His name's Chris Hammer. He's a good guy. He actually, when I was struggling, I would call him and he was helping me. But there was a few times that I hiccuped, and I don't have no. Again, excuse my language, but I fucked up, Your Honor. And now it's this.
I mean, I'm aware of that. I mean, you've told me that twice, and I presume that you did since you're here, and I read what you did. So it's you don't have to emphasize that because I know you did. Okay, the question is why you did, and why you don't seem to give a shit about your freedom or lack thereof.
I'm a slow learner, and
well, now you told me twice you're a slow learner. Okay. Now it seems to me, okay, I'm not a chef. Okay, I can cook pizza, I can cook burgers, I can even cook a decent steak once in a while. Okay, but I have watched Hell's Kitchen a lot. Okay, so I do know what goes from watching that, what goes into being a chef. Okay, and it's not doesn't seem to me to be at a decent restaurant. It doesn't seem to be an easy job, and you got to have your act together because there's a lot of things going on at once. Okay, you got to know what you're doing, So you cannot be a stupid person and work at a decent restaurant, okay? So you're not if you've been a chef for 13 years at a good restaurant, you can't be stupid. So you're not stupid, okay? So why are you doing stupid stuff?
After you just said that, it kind of clicked. I think I'm having trouble finding balance, and every time I stumble down, something gets to me emotionally, and then I start going down the wrong path. Usually with a woman, but it's what it seems like. I'm having trouble finding balance, finding the flavors that match. And
what you got, Alli? What you got on it?
Well, okay, his industry, there's no way he's going to be able to stay a chef. Like, I can tell you that right now. His industry is nothing but cokeheads. Like, any server, I bet you Kathy could probably chime in right now and tell me that the industry is very yep, and a lot of chefs in the industry, a lot of servers in the industry are that's their drug of choice is coke. So I don't know if he can find a restaurant that has like a no drug tolerance policy. I don't know of one that exists, but I'm sure there's one out there. But I don't see, without him finding that, he'll be able to stay sober, because he's going to be around it everywhere he goes.
Yeah, and my son's actually working in a restaurant, and that's one of my biggest fears. There is, I don't know that it's just it's so prevalent there, and and like my son's biggest drug was alcohol. So if they sell alcohol there, he's got access to that. Not that he couldn't run to the store and get it, but it just gets there, and also as far as the stressful environment, as far as like just momentary stress, how kitchens can get.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, my husband has worked in the service industry his entire life. He's been in it for over 20 years, and he works at an upscale restaurant, and he's just like, yeah, half the kitchen is always high. Like that's every kitchen he's ever worked at. It's always that's the case, and Kathy even confirmed it. Yep, that there are more drugs in a kitchen than in a cartel. 100%.
She didn't confirm that. She said she worked in a kitchen, and you can in fact be stupid and still cook.
No, keep reading. Reading. She did say that.
Yeah, there are more drugs in the kitchen than the cartel. Yeah. The last place my son was working, he was talking about. He said the manager was doing kratom off the counter. And
oh wow!
I don't know what kratom is, so.
So kratom is an herb. I don't know how he could do it off the counter. I couldn't imagine snorting that. Just thinking of the taste makes me gag. But what it is, it's a leaf that they powder. So it's a powder that you buy, and now they have it in extract bottles. It used to, you could only just buy the powder, and you'd have to either eat the powder or take it in pills. And it is supposed to give the same effects as like heroin, and it's good for people who are heroin addicts that need to kind of make their dose stretch a while, or have run out and need to last the weekend, and don't want to be sick. That's one way to do it. It sometimes works for that. So, and I know a lot of people who have gotten off of heroin and then just got addicted to kratom instead.
Yeah, and down here in Florida, kratom is kind of you buy it at the gas station, and it's kind of like the dope for the people that can't take dope.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
And so they goof off with it. So Nancy's asking me how my son's doing. He's doing great. This morning he had agreed we're going to give him a car, and then by this afternoon he had changed his mind that he doesn't want it because there's rules that come along with having a vehicle from me. And by the end of that conversation, he was back to ready to get the keys to it. So I wouldn't even be considering it if I didn't trust him and I didn't feel he was ready for some more responsibility. He's doing good. Hopefully he'll be home in about 4 weeks. Hopefully by Thanksgiving. We just got to play the game with the probation officer. He may have to wait until the December probation visit to go check it out. I'm ready to get him out for a couple of reasons. One is money. I want to get him home because it's costing me a ton of money for him to be in rehab. Another one is he can't take the next step until he takes the next step. And as of now, everything's great and wonderful, but I don't understand addiction, and he feels that he's great. One thing I wanted to mention was this guy's talking about his sponsor. My son loves his sponsor. My son, for some reason, that's a good, strong connection for him as a sponsor.
That's great.
And I don't know what a sponsor does other than just be someone to listen to you complain or listen to you when you're in a weird mood. I don't know. Have you ever?
A sponsor typically is somebody that has like decades of sobriety, so they've been through it, and usually have sponsored other people. So they're used to it, and yeah, they're there for anytime they're like I want to use, you call them, because they know what it's like. They talk you down. They try to get you to a meeting. They're the support system to that you go to when you're starting to hit rock bottom. You can tell them anything. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what a sponsor is. So if he's got a good relationship with his sponsor, that's phenomenal, because that's really a lot of the battle is some people don't get good sponsors and they don't have that support and they need it. I mean, family can be support too, but having somebody that's been in it and through it is different, you know?
Yeah, and he's been through a couple of sponsors. Most of the time it's been the sponsor just kind of, just was inactive or didn't do anything. But Gina, you're asking, does he get weekend stays? So he's this is his third rehab, and the first rehab was like an odd Christian prison camp. And he got out of there. He left there because he couldn't follow the rules. They're very religious oriented, and he just wasn't at a stage in his life where he could, participate in any sort of religion or be tolerant of anybody's religion. But the second one he went to was pretty much a homeless shelter. It was a really, really sketchy area. We were almost scared to even go visit him. The one he's at now, he's in a really super nice apartment complex. He's got a full-time job. He's doing great. He can leave and go, come as he please. And he does great. He's on probation. So he still has curfew and all that, but that's dealing with probation, not dealing with the rehab. They do tests there and they do a lot of other stuff, but they do a lot of church stuff there, and he's embraced that. And that's been odd for us because we fought with him all his life to get him to go to church, and he had no interest in church. That he could not be bothered by church, resisted it as much as he could, and now he's starting to embrace it. And of course, we're worried that it's a jail thing. In other words, once he gets out of jail, he's going to forget about it. But we're not pushing anything on him. We're hoping he embraces something healthy in his life and rolls with it.
That's good. That's really good.
But as far as weekend stays, no. We'll go pick him up sometimes and take him out for the day. We'll run around town and do stuff. He's had a few girlfriends, and they go out and stuff like that. But no, nothing as far as that. And so, Court Vibes.
That's good. Can
she have a sponsor if she's not an addict?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just called a best friend.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think AA will sponsor you. But you have to want to not drink though.
Yeah.
Is that the rules, or I don't know? I'm kind of lost on it.
I don't know. I've never been to a meeting. I don't know.
And Victoria's asking, she needs to sponsor her for her bills. I think that's called a sugar daddy, ain't it?
Yeah, that's something different. Yeah.
And they ask weird stuff. You got to start sending them feet pictures and stuff, and you don't want nothing.
Pictures. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. I think it was
like photographing feet.
Oh, I think it was today. Yeah, I think it was today. Judge Fleischer was talking about how crazy it is, people contacting people on Grindr.
Was he? I didn't catch that.
The funniest damn conversations in that courtroom.
That's so funny.
And so Elena says she needs a sponsor for cleaning.
Me too. Yeah. Oh my God. Me too. I need to clean. I don't like to clean. I don't ever have energy for anything though. Once I have energy, like when I have spurts and then I go too hard when I have energy, and then I end up like being wiped out for 2 days straight. And then I'll be like, okay, I feel good again. And then I'll go too hard and then I'll be wiped out for 2 days straight. And it's just this vicious cycle I can never figure out.
My wife's always in a, Nan, what's Grindr? look it up on. Nan, look it up on Google. If you don't know what Grindr is, look it up on Google. You can probably get it from the App Store also.
That was probably the sweetest Nan question I've ever seen, and it's probably the dirtiest thing she's going to look up, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be funny. Sorry.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
And I'm doing my best not to smile. But yeah, yeah, it's an Linus is saying that it's a lonely gay man's best friend.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Or
That's
the most
what it
popular
is.
app in Florida. I don't know.
Yeah.
Vicky's saying that she had 19 years in AA, sponsored many women, but she got out of recovery and ended up drinking again.
Oh no.
And that
I'm sorry to hear
happens.
that,
I think.
Vicky.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it, and that's what I'm worried about with my kid is, he'll do good. And like this guy said here, he gets a bad day. He gets a bad day and goes back to it. He was blaming women earlier, and
Really?
he's blaming women, and I just anything is stressful in life. Like you're talking about working in a kitchen. Just the stress of that. Too many orders coming in at one time, running out of product in one time.
Right.
So.
Yeah, he might not be ready for dating yet. Like he might need a couple of a little bit more time of sobriety before he can handle the emotional like hardships that dating comes with it. So that might be something he needs to put off for a bit.
So Blue Stripe Dude is saying for risky searches, start with Wikipedia, not Google.
Yeah, there you go.
How do you get to I guess you could go to Wikipedia. I was going to say, how do you get to Wikipedia unless you Google something?
Google Wikipedia and then Wikipedia, I guess.
No, that's way too many steps. That's way too many steps.
All right, let's finish this case up.
Yep. Because the other one's a long one, so let's go to that.
And
okay,
these little meetings been helping me, honestly. When I was on my probation, I was going to AA meetings, and I couldn't find no useful information in those. But then coming back in here, going to the NA meetings, those actually been like giving me insight to help me recover balance, recover my feet, and I'm just ashamed of myself. It took me this long to actually. I'm ashamed that I have to hear you say it for it to click in my head to know what I got to do. That's all I got, Your Honor. I'm ashamed of myself, honestly.
Zoe, go to sleep. You need to go to sleep, Zoe.
Go to sleep, Zoe. Go to sleep. That's about all I'm going to do for singing. Sorry.
Okay. No, were we supposed to sing it? No, it just said say it.
I know.
Okay.
I just wanted to do a little flair.
I'm trying to be nice. I got you.
Yeah.
Go to sleep, Zoe.
Yeah.
Why did you run out of the probation department when you were supposed to stay there?
Because I was afraid to come back to jail.
Okay. Well, that didn't work out very well because you got caught within a pretty short period of time, huh?
Yeah. After I left the probation officer, it wasn't more so that. It was more so I was afraid of losing my car, and I was worried about getting her home, and just and like small things that I shouldn't have been.
Are you still in contact with her?
No, not anymore. We broke up.
Listen, are you still in contact with her?
In contact?
Yeah.
I mean, I have her phone number.
Okay.
But I don't. I'm done with her.
Are you still in contact with her? I know you have her phone number. Okay, you told me that. I know you said you're done with her, but you haven't answered my question. Are you still in contact with her? Since you've been in jail, have you been in contact with her?
Yeah, since I've been in jail, but from the last 2 weeks, I have not been.
Okay, so quit hedging your bets here, okay? Because I asked you if you were in contact with her, and you
I said yes.
And you were, okay? But it took you 3 times to answer the question, okay?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I tell you what you're not very good at. You're not very good at convincing me that what you're telling me isn't bullshit, okay? Because when I ask you that question, I knew the answer to the question before I asked it, okay? But you tried to avoid that, okay? So that tells me that maybe what you're telling me is what you think I want to hear as you sit here today, okay? That's what that makes me think, okay? You got a problem that you've had for a long time, and you've determined you don't want to do anything about it, or you want to minimally try to do something about it, but not really, okay? And until you decide you're going to do something about it, you're going to keep showing up in Willoughby Municipal Court, Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, Portage County Municipal Court, Willoughby Municipal Court, Euclid Municipal Court. You're going to keep doing that. Now, if you like doing that, then you're just going to keep on doing what you're doing and party on. But if you don't, then you better do something about it. Did you ever contact Signature Health?
Yes.
And what did they tell you?
They wanted me to do the IOP program. They put me on counseling for mental health.
And how many sessions did you go to?
I didn't start it.
Why not?
The week that I got it all started is the week that I got booked into it.
Okay, you got out of jail on August 6th. When did you contact Signature Health?
Within the first week, I scheduled a meeting. I did the assessment. I made the assessment, and then I came back, and then I was in Cuyahoga County, and then
Doing what?
the meeting with our probation officer out there, and he gave me his list of things to do. I forgot what the company is, but then I told him that I have to go with Signature Health with their assessment. He's like, that'll as long as I bring him the paperwork with that'll be suffice for him.
When's the last time you talked to him?
Me personally, or
Yep.
I was supposed to see him September 12th. I talked to him the week before September 12th, so I don't know what the exact date was.
Called him from over here?
No, I called. This is before I got arrested.
So haven't you been in jail since August 29th?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you talked to him September 5th.
My friend Katie, I told him I was in jail. My friend Katie told him that my next court date is today, and he told Katie to tell me that if I was released today, to go straight report to him so he can hash things out in Cleveland. I have to see the judge in Cleveland. He said he's not going to put a hold on me. He's going to leave it to me to do the right thing, and I'm so tired of doing
He's an
it.
optimistic sort, isn't he?
Yeah, he's. I suppose so. I suppose so. For leaving it in my hands, and
Right.
we all know how much I play with fire. I'm so done getting burned.
I love that
Well-
he's so done getting burned, as if it's someone else doing it to him.
Yeah, for real, dude. Like, I don't know what he wants. Like, he's gonna have to quit that. He's gonna have to quit the jobs. Like, he's gonna be surrounded by it, or either that, or he's gonna have to go through extensive rehab and be in a real good place before he's gonna be able to go back. Otherwise, he's gonna be around the same people. I don't see any way around it. It's his job that's the problem.
Well, and he's the problem too. I go to restaurants all the time, and I don't use drugs, but there's other drugs there. There's plenty of food there, and so.
I don't understand like what he's going to expect, and I don't think the judge understands that that's necessarily the life he's going to be in if he's going to keep this job up. So I know the judge is going to end up throwing him in jail. Like, there's no other option. Like, he's already taken away his intervention, his pretrial. So
You don't know that.
Be inpatient for him.
You don't know that. The judge may say he's a nice fella and let him go.
It's very true. I don't know that. You're right.
All right, let's finish it up.
All right, cool.
You get burned when you keep sticking your hand in the fire, when you know what's going to happen when you stick your hand in the fire. All right, I'm going to place you on community control for 3 years. And you're either going to take this opportunity to begin to solve your problem, or you're going to stare at the wall and keep on doing what you're doing. Okay, that's up to you. I have no control over which course you take. But I'm going to sentence you to 111 days in jail with credit for 56. That means you're going to do 45 more. The last 30 of which will be in the jail treatment program. You're going to complete that and follow those recommendations. Then you're going to go to either Lake House or Concord Pines and comply with that, complete that program, and follow those recommendations. Going to get a mental health evaluation and follow those recommendations. No drugs or alcohol with screens. 4 AA meetings a week, and if you want to go to NA meetings, go to NA meetings and get a sponsor. And it doesn't do any good to have a sponsor unless you use a sponsor. Full employment, you're to go to only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for any medication. If you are prescribed medication, take it only as prescribed. Sign releases for probation, and pay the cost and supervision fees. Do you understand everything?
Yes, Your Honor, but as I was talking to my attorney, if I have to do all these hoops, and can I just take my time and walk away? That's a lot to go through.
So everything you just told me,
I understand
for 20 minutes was complete bullshit.
No, it's not, Your Honor.
So you go from intervention, which means you're not going to get a conviction, to wanting to go to prison because you don't want to go through the process of what you have to do in order to stop showing up here.
I just don't.
So here's what you do. I'm not changing that, okay? But you can go over to the jail. You can go in this jail treatment program, get yourself kicked out of it, then you'll violate, then you can come back, and then I'll send you to prison, okay? So if you want to go to prison, you're going to have to wait 15 days, get in there on day 1, get yourself kicked out of it, and then we'll be back, and then I'll send you to prison, okay? And then after you do that, the good news is when you go to prison, you'll be able to get all the drugs you want in prison, okay? That's like, there's more drugs there than there probably is when you walk down the street a couple of blocks, okay? So you'll be able to get all the drugs you want, do all the drugs you want. Then when you get out, you can continue right on.
Your Honor, it's not about the drugs, though. It's just I don't want to put myself in the position where I'd have to do another 6 months and then continuously be on probation when I'm already almost at 6 months served. So,
Right.
So I'd rather be able to just walk away as a free man, do my time and walk away as a free man.
Okay. Well, I just gave you the roadmap to how to do it.
All right.
All right. You decide what you want.
Wow. I just don't even understand what he wanted from that. Like, I got nothing, dude. Like, he doesn't want to do the work. Then he doesn't want to do the work.
Yeah, well, and see, that's what got me was right there at the end. My son was that way. That's why he was so willing to go to prison. That's why he was so willing to just go ahead and accept all that, was because he wanted just to be out of the system. And he, his idea was, if I just go ahead and take the prison, I don't have to worry about probation because, probation, you're accountable. You're being monitored, and and like Kimmy's saying, he wants to use, and so go 2 years without using on probation, or go 3 months to finish up his sentence.
Yeah, and he's going to be, he thinks that once he gets out of prison, then that means he's done and he doesn't have to deal with anything anymore. And it's like, no, all of your problems will still be there, and you're going to use again, and then you're going to get arrested again, and then you're going to have an even longer sentence, or you're going to end up dead because they're lacing coke with fentanyl now, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. I don't understand. Like, if they're two different classes of drugs, they're putting it in everything now. I don't get it, but they are. And so he could very well end up dead.
Yeah.
And that's just the unfortunate reality of it.
Now, are there people that take fentanyl as just fentanyl? Is fentanyl itself by itself the drug, or is it just always an additive to others?
No, it's definitely on its own. It's just a drug on its own, but they're putting it in everything. Like, they're lacing coke and weed and meth, and it's obviously in heroin. They've cut it in everything. They put it in any like fake Xanax pills. I've gotten laced Xanax pills where it's been in that. Didn't know it was in that.
So why?
Yeah, they literally put it in everything because it's addictive and it gets people really high and it's really cheap.
Okay, but coming at it from a responsible business person, drug dealer person, if I'm already selling you a Xanax pill, why do I care that you're more addicted to Xanax pills? And
because they're making them. They're making the Xanax pills. They're not real. They're fake.
Okay. No, I can understand. Okay, if you're making it, yeah, absolutely, make some doped
Yeah.
up ones, and okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just my idea was if you're already buying Xanax pills from me, I'm just going to keep up the
Yeah.
business.
No.
I'm not going to
That,
waste the money on an additive. But
yeah,
yeah,
they
I
don't
know
they
I know
don't
it's a
they don't take
isn't it
the
a, it,
pill and lace that pill. No, they build it into the pills, so, and make the pills themselves. So, yeah.
yeah, and I know it got Prince and a bunch of it's gotten quite a few musicians and a couple $high people.
Oh, yeah.
So I know it's a pharmaceutical, but I couldn't understand why the local drug dealer on the corner would waste his money and his effort to lace up something. It's like the whole idea about Halloween candy. Oh, they're going to put razor blades in your Halloween candy.
Mhm.
Well, why the hell would they do that unless they're just evil?
But by the
And
time it gets to the street level dealer, it's already been stepped on so many times by the higher ups that the street level dealer has no idea what's in it either. You could be, I went to the same dealer for years, and I know that the last batch that I got right before I went into rehab was laced with fentanyl. I know it was a completely different high than anything I've ever experienced. And that's right when it was starting to creep into Austin and it was starting to make its way into the dope supply.
yeah,
I can tell you 100% without a doubt, it tasted different, it looked different, it felt different, it was incredible. Um, yeah, it was just completely different. And he had no idea that it was stepped on. He didn't put it in there. He was like, "Well, I just keep getting it from the same person." So they have no idea. By the time it gets to the street dealer, they have no idea what's in it. And if they
are
step on it even further, that's even worse.
are you telling me that the ethics in the drug dealing world are lacking?
They are. Isn't that amazing?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the benefit of unions.
I know they should unionize. Then product would be better. We'd have quality control, and we'd have customer service helplines.
Yeah, that stuff's just amazing to me because if you're not living in that world, and look, I live in the gun world. I love my guns. I have guns. I shoot guns all the time, and I use them for protection. And it's hard to go a day without meeting someone who's willing to show you, hey, look at mine. In other words, y'all showing off to each other.
Right.
And me and a friend of mine went to a concert, and the band that was playing just walked up to the guy that was with me and was like, "Hey, you want to go smoke some before they go on stage?" And a little bit later,
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Well, shoot, I feel bad. I wasn't offered. No one offered me to go smoke with him." And it just kind of comes down to if you're in that crowd, you're in that crowd. And he looked, he wasn't homeless, but he looked the part.
Yeah.
And, me and him had been friends since I think 13, 14 years old. And we were in our 30s, and I think he still lived in the same bedroom.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So this next one you said this is a long one, right?
Yep. And Linus, one day I've been thinking about it because I watch YouTube channels and they do show off the different ones. And they do talk about them, and I'm trying to learn some of the better words to do that. I'm trying to find some of the better ways to do that because in the end, it would be interesting to introduce you into that world. And so,
Another thing. Tomorrow night I'm going to do a birthday stream. Tomorrow's my birthday, so I hope all of you guys show up.
Yep.
I will be here. I probably won't be in Bill's stream because I'm going to go out for dinner, but I will be here 9:00 Eastern time for my birthday. If you guys could all join me, I would love it.
Make sure y'all pull out your ones, wave your ones in the air.
Yeah, so Bill can strip for you.
Hey, if it pays the bills.
There you go.
I think I seen the shirt. I'm not that way, but a 20 is a 20.
That's right.
Yep. All right, and the band that we were going to see was a reggae band too, so that kind of sold that kind of.
Oh yeah, well that tracks. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I managed that band for a couple of years, and my son, I think he was like 8 or 9 years old at that time. We had to borrow some of his gear because they had already pawned off their gear to buy drugs, and and my son was awesome. He was at 9 years old. He was like, nope. He's like, I'll go and set it up. I'll go and set it up for them, but I'm not going to leave them with it. I don't trust them. They'll steal my stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So thank you so much, Kathy, for coming out. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming out here.
Yeah, Kathy, thank you. Have a good night.
It truly means the world to me, Kathy. Thank you. And speaking of it meaning the world to me, I really need to get Linus to Houston. Please somebody foster my child. Just be a good foster parent for my kid, Linus. She needs to get over here. She needs your help. We got her over here. We got to get her back home. Everybody loves Linus, but after a week of Linus, we're ready to send her back home. So make sure to jump in.
And I'm going to take her to NASA while she's here.
What's that?
Her and I are going to go to her NASA while she's here. So
now, is NASA excited. In Houston or is NASA in Austin?
No, it's in Houston.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was going to say, I don't remember any famous movie quotes of, "Hey, Austin, we need your help."
Yeah. No, right. That would be Houston. We have a problem. So yeah.
Yep. We're going to jump into an old Judge DeSanto one. Talking with Alli. I don't think she's heard this one. This is a Judge DeSanto one where the barber got the guy drunk, and so
I can't wait to see this one. This one's going to be great.
Yep. So here we go with that.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Stradley and Mr. Sneed, please raise your right hands. You solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this man with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Mr. Sneed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Stradley.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay, and so, Mr. Quartz, if you're okay with that, I'm just going to kind of summarize for a moment. So Mr. Quartz or Mr. Sneed stated that the reason he tested positive for alcohol was because he received a haircut and a shave.
Aftershave lotion.
Or sorry, aftershave was alcohol, only alcohol, if I recall correctly, right? It was pure alcohol.
Yeah, so I did my research throughout this week.
Hold on, sir, hold on. Your testimony last week was that you had pure alcohol put on your face and your hair, your head.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so because of that, Mr. Sneed tested positive for alcohol on the tether. And refresh my recollection again, sir, your haircut was at 8 p.m.?
Yeah, you didn't get
yes.
to 8:30, yes, Your Honor.
Your haircut started at what time?
8:30.
And when was your haircut complete?
About 9:15.
Mr. Quartz, did you want to ask Mr. Stradley any questions?
If you allow, yes, Your Honor.
Yes, okay.
Sir, if I might ask, are you trained to identify what could cause this device to go off?
Yes, sir.
And do you believe that training has equipped you to determine all causes that would trigger this device?
That training is the. I'm sorry?
Oh, specifically, I guess I should ask, do you feel that your training and experience have equipped you to definitively answer the question if a large amount of aftershave on the face and hair on the head as well could trigger this device?
It could, yes.
That's all I have.
So your testimony, Mr. Stradley, is that pure alcohol on the face and the head of Mr. Sneed could give a positive result on the alcohol tether.
My apologies, Your Honor. The court misinterpreted, so did the attorney, and I misanswered. My response was yes. I can dictate the difference between the two. That's correct. However, in this instance, we have multiple peaks to a point, Your Honor. There's been multiple studies done as far as the absorption of alcohol through the skin. It's just not. It's just to get to these levels in this kind of time is not a feasible thing, Your Honor. We have multiple individuals that are barbers nurses, etc. Their hands are in contact with alcoholic substances all day long, to include bartenders. And we don't have these kind of issues.
Okay. So I think that was some clarification on that. The court asked a question based upon your question. And so Mr. Courts, do you have more questions now?
If I may, Your Honor.
Yes.
Sir, are you familiar with a Barton Morris?
I'm familiar with the firm, yes, sir.
Okay. And
I'm sorry, a what?
Barton Morris. I could spell it for the record.
Yes, please.
Barton space Morris.
Is that a person or?
Yeah, it is a person that would normally testify in these matters. Unfortunately, my client can't afford that. And I don't know if now is the time to address a preliminary question, Your Honor, about this, or you want to proceed.
Okay, and so Barton Morris is a person.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, I'm going to jump in real quick and tell everybody how evil YouTube is. So I don't have any control over the ads or anything of the sort. I don't have anything in there. But it's telling me that if creators adopting live automated mid-rolls on average over 20% uplift in in-stream ad revenue per hour. So they're trying to get me to turn on a button that's going to throw ads in the middle of it. And so if any of y'all have any experience with that, let me know, because I don't have any interest in that. It seems like it would be annoying to throw more ads in there. And so I just thought I'd interrupt it. Instead of interrupting it with an ad, I'd interrupt it with a complaint about ads. So,
there you go. Much better. Much more economical.
Yeah, I just, it makes no sense to me that, you know, that they're telling you, hey, throw in more ads. It'll do better for your show.
Yeah, that's
Nancy.
That's YouTube for you.
Yeah, it's saying creators adopting live automated mid rolls saw on average over 20% uplift in-stream ad revenue per hour.
So they're saying, oh, you'll make more money if we interrupt the middle of your live stream with an ad, is what they're trying to say.
It seems to me like you would lose.
Please let us do it.
Yeah, and so it has an option of turn on or dismiss. I'm going to hit dismiss.
There you go.
And so, but yeah, because we don't understand. I don't see any ads or anything of ads, so it never tells me anything about them. And just to give everybody a heads up, I think the first Court Addict we did, we looked at the numbers the other day, and I think it's made 20 cents so far.
Woohoo!
So
we're rich.
So it's certainly not rolling in money, and it's a math game. It's a cumulative game, and so next year it'll be making money. This year, not so much. So
right.
Let's jump back into Judge DeSanto.
Okay.
Sir, are you aware that others may hold a contrary opinion relating to this issue?
I'm not aware of. I'm aware of the data.
I'm sorry, Mr. Stradley. Counsel, I'm sorry, Mr. Stradley. Just a moment, Counsel. I think that you need to be more specific. That's too general of a question.
Okay. What study specifically are you citing when you would say that this couldn't happen? Or is that your testimony that it's impossible, or it's just not likely?
It's not likely.
But it is possible, correct?
In very trace amounts.
I'm sorry, very what?
In very trace amounts, Your Honor. The absorption of the alcohol transdermally through the skin, as it relates to getting to an elimination process, by the time the body was absorbed that small amount, it would not be even traceable on the bracelet.
Sir, do you know today what study specifically you'd be citing and relying on?
I'm sorry?
Do you specifically, what scientific study are you relying on to draw your conclusion?
That was something I learned in the state of Indiana course by it's called the Borkenstein course for highway safety and alcohol control.
Thank you, Vicky.
And what year was that, sir?
3 years ago, sir.
Thank you, Vicky.
At this point, Your Honor, I don't have further questions for the witness. I do have a preliminary question about my client's ability to pay for his own expert, whenever the court would like me to address that.
Okay, Mr. Stradley, your testimony was that this could be possible, a positive alcohol reading could be possible in trace amounts. Does that mean that the level would be a trace amount of level of alcohol indicating on the tether, or a trace amount that has been absorbed through the skin?
A trace amount that may convey to the tether, Your Honor. Again, the amounts that would be absorbed through the skin, and again, just an application to just your face momentarily is not going to get you to a 0.057 peak on our bracelet. Again, you know, as your body dissipates or eliminates that alcohol, it obviously deduces the amounts as well. So for that trace amount to be applied to somebody's face or head, to be absorbed through the skin transdermally, and then obviously showing up on our bracelet a little less than an hour later, is kind of irrelevant. I don't believe that's the case. In addition, there are 6 pieces of criteria. All 6 of those pieces of criteria must be met to be a confirmed alcohol consumption event. In this instance, all pieces of those criteria are met. And as to the independent studies, there have been studies by NISTA. There have been multiple Dalbert and Fry hearings regarding the technology, Your Honor.
Okay, and what are those 6 pieces that you indicated were present?
So there must be a 0
Gina.
alcohol reading on the bracelet prior to the event. There must be 3 peaks over a point, peaking out at over a 0.020%. The absorption and the elimination rates, the absorption rate not being greater than 0.10%, the elimination not greater than 0.035 on the elimination side. The 5th piece is it must return to a 0 alcohol reading. And lastly, it must pass the contamination test, whereas the device itself takes a sample from the environment, testing for alcohol or ethanol in the environment around the offender. If any one of those 6 pieces of criteria are not met or contaminated, the whole event as a whole, benefit of the doubt is given to the wearer and they throw it away.
Okay. And so, I know your testimony was a 0.057, but I'm showing the point as 0.075.
Somebody must have put that backwards, Your Honor. It's a 0.57, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm looking at the reading on the report, and it's over, the red lines are over the 0.075. Is that Mr. Sneed's test, or is his test the black mark?
Oh, Your Honor, my apologies. If you're looking at the graph, Your Honor, the red line is an indicator of the ambient temperature. The middle line, which is the blue line, that is the IR voltage readings. That tells us where the bracelet is fitting to be sure that there's not an obstruction. The bottom line, which is the black line, that is the indicator of the presence of alcohol, and in addition to the alcohol readings. Each one of those dots on the graph, that indicates the test. That device samples the wearer every 30 minutes.
Okay, so there's the clarification. So that would be a 0.057. Okay.
If you look further, the non-compliance, Your Honor, on page 4, number 2, it'll say peak TAC of 0.057 was established on Monday, November the 13th at 11:27 p.m.
It does say that. Okay, so in your, how long have you been in this profession, Mr.
9 years,
Shirley?
Your Honor. 9 years.
And in your 9 years of experience, have you had, and I understand that you have individuals that are barbers and bartenders and medical staff. Have those readings tested positive for alcohol consumption by using alcohol-based products.
What I can tell the court is in the past, generally when somebody's using an alcohol-based product and we get a reading on our bracelet, generally speaking, it's because they touched the alcohol product and touched the bracelet. However, that data looks completely different because the readings will go from a 0 alcohol reading to whatever that peak amount is. It doesn't continue to create more alcohol, Your Honor.
Okay. And it's your opinion that somebody having alcohol applied to their skin, on their face as aftershave, and their head would not generate a positive reading on the alcohol tether up to a 0.057. That was, it looks to be about maybe 2 hours after the event, maybe?
That's correct, Your Honor. The bracelet was at a 0 TAC reading at 9:24, which means that effectively about just before 10 o'clock, the first alcohol reading was taken. The first presence of alcohol was detected, I should say. So they're essentially that, yes, it had to meet all those pieces of criteria, Your Honor. Therefore, you have to stand behind the science. The science dictates that, this is a confirmed consumption event. We have to stand behind the science, Your Honor.
Okay. And when you outfitted Mr. Sneed with the tether, was he provided with instructions as to what items he should avoid?
Absolutely. Every enrollee is provided with a participation agreement. In addition to that participation agreement, they're also verbally spoken to. 3 things come out of the installer's mouth. 1 is nothing ever to get between the bracelet and the skin. 2, refrain from the use of products containing alcohol.
Okay. All right, any further questions from that, Mr. Quartz?
Your Honor, if I might, sir, would your testimony change if you heard 2 witnesses testify that they were with him the entire time that he wasn't drinking, and this occurred?
Sir, regrettably, the science speaks for itself, and the data is the data.
On the subject of the data, what is your false positive rate on the test?
There is no false positive rate, sir. It's either positive presence of alcohol or no positive presence of alcohol. Hence the reason why there are 6 pieces of criteria, and all 6 of those pieces must be met. Any one of those are incorrect or not met, the event of the whole is thrown away. It's a pretty high standard, 6 pieces of criteria.
It seemed to be important to you to publish it and orally explain to your clients not to use alcohol-based products. I would assume that's because it has a tendency to create false positives.
It's not a false positive, it's the detection of alcohol. The only difference is whether it's a consumption or it's environmental.
Can you state today how much alcohol my client consumed that night based on this reading?
Well, hypothetically, if it's a 0.057, I would assume that would be like 3 or 4 beers.
Okay. And how long would 3 or 4 beers take to leave the system?
It's not what leaves, generally speaking, on this gram bracelet. It's anywhere between 45 minutes to 3 hours after the consumption is when we begin to detect it.
I'm sorry, is when you begin to detect it? Is that what?
That's correct, Your Honor. So again, the bracelet itself is detecting the alcohol on basically the individual wearer's elimination phase. So as they are eliminating that alcohol, that's when we begin to detect the alcohol. Obviously, our peak is when they have finished eliminating and they start to stop eliminating. That's when our elimination phase begins.
So this elimination, So this elimination phase, when you've seen the 0.057, does the elimination in the testing comport with the consumption of alcohol as it decreases in a normal human body?
As long as it meets the criteria of eliminating less than a 0.035%. That's correct.
At what time did that occur?
At what time did what occur, sir?
Did you see it meet your criteria of elimination?
Well, if we have a peak at 11:27 p.m. and then the bracelet's reporting that at 3:01 a.m. and the zero TAC was reestablished, then that would be the period there. It'd be 11:27 from the peak to the elimination when it stopped at 3:01 a.m., which gave us an elimination rate of a 0.016.
Okay. So was there testing between roughly 11 and 3, or are those just the testing periods?
As I stated before, there's the system itself takes a test every 30 minutes. As indicated, each one of those dots represents that 30-minute window test.
So I guess what I'm trying to establish is, and if you know, every 30 minutes following the read of 0.075, was the alcohol in a body decreasing as you would expect it to from the consumption of alcohol up until 3 a.m.?
That's correct.
Would that also be true if it was an absorption through the skin?
What do you mean an absorption through the skin, sir?
Would the body eliminate alcohol at a different level if it was drank or absorbed through the skin?
That I'm not concerned. I don't know about that answer, sir. I can't answer that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you ask that question again, Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Alcohol could be consumed in 2 ways, maybe more, but you could drink it or you could absorb it through your skin. My client's alleging that it was absorbed through his skin. It's my understanding your testimony is you don't have a way to differentiate the elimination rate on your device between consuming it and drinking or it being eliminated if it was brought into the body through the flesh.
Well, that's not completely true, actually. If it's in the body and it's being eliminated, it's going to be the same rate, regardless of how it got there.
That's all the questions I have.
Okay.
Oh, you have any questions?
Just a moment. And so, Mr. Stradley, as to the tether reading, there's zero doubt that there was alcohol detected on the tether and in Mr. Sneed's body and absorbing. The testimony is you cannot state as to how that alcohol got in there. Is that what I heard your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I says what I can state is that the data supports a confirmed consumption event. How the alcohol got into the individual's body, I cannot tell you how that happened. However, we can tell you that this is a confirmed consumption event based on the data and the criteria.
Okay. And in your experience, the rapid increase at 8 p.m. until it appears to be approximately, what is that, 11 p.m., 10 p.m.?
So if you look at the bottom of page 4, Your Honor, the bracelet didn't actually begin detecting alcohol until approximately just before 10 p.m. that evening.
Okay.
And then approximately
an
hour and a half. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. And then 11:30 p.m. is when the peak of 0.057 had been reached, correct?
That's when that was established. That's correct, Your Honor.
And given your experience with individuals that have either had absorption on their skin or consumption, in your experience, would absorption give that rapid of a rise on that rate? If it was merely absorbed on the skin as opposed to consumed?
Your Honor, we can't ascertain exactly how the alcohol got into the individual. What we can say is that there was alcohol in that individual's system. All that data supports and meets the criteria for southern consumption event. Obviously, as the court knows, there's multiple ways to ingest alcohol, not just orally. So again, I don't know what transpired that evening, but whatever data that we have and collected off of Mr. Sneed that night supports a drinking event, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay, and so Mr. Stradley, can I have you stick around for a few minutes just in case I need some additional testimony from you?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, and counsel, it sounded as though your attorney or your client wanted to say something.
Yes, Your Honor. And first, I just want to say we really respect the court taking the time to do this, and I know that is a big ask. If the court thinks it would be helpful, I just want to make the court aware we attempted to obtain an expert. I believe I only retained him roughly 7 days ago. He interviewed with an expert that he believes will testify that this is possible. This is a possible scenario. The problem is he needed $2,500. My client can't afford it yet. If the court was willing in 30 days, my client can afford it. If he wanted to take the testimony, carry over, and he thought that would be helpful, I just want to well known. It seemed that the government well known. It seemed that the government's expert was aware of him as well.
It just frozen. It just frozen. We had to start over.
No, I think it was because the ad was there.
Okay, you think so?
Well, somebody said something about an ad.
Okay, it's back. All right, let's go.
What it was. Sorry.
And what was
okay, everybody? Yeah, we don't know what happened. It just said that it stopped and started buffering, so we don't know what happened.
No.
Odd. Who knows?
Weird.
Let's go back to it though. Thank you everybody for sticking around.
For that testimony be counsel, because at the end of the day, your client is pled guilty because he had alcohol in his system.
100%, Your Honor, and that was his mistake. But I think there's a huge difference in making a mistake. Many men get shaved with alcohol. I've done it. Almost every man has. Sometimes there's no alcohol. Sometimes there are. Haircuts and shaves are very relaxing. You're not thinking about it. You still, understandably, should follow the court order, but the intention is hugely different than that and drinking, and it may influence the court's willingness to punish more severely. And in this case, not only is there a text message showing that a barber was coming, a letter from a barber, so it's not like somebody just made this up in advance to come here. There's 2 witnesses to say, I seen him get the haircut, but not only that, I fell asleep next to him, and the other guy works with him, and we drove to work together. No drinking occurring. So this is very good evidence to suggest that this may be an accidental thing. And I believe that the punishment should be much more severe if he drank beer than if he accidentally absorbed. And if the court felt that way, Mr. Morris's testimony may be able to convince the court that that's possible.
Okay, so where's the barber? Because I'm going to tell you right now, that's who I want to hear from. Where's the barber? Because that would be less expensive than the expert.
He teaches a class. I tried getting him in today, but he was teaching a class from 7:45 to 3 p.m. If you can set it up
every Monday?
Yeah, every Monday. On top of traveling while he cuts hair, that's how he makes his money.
And what class does he teach?
I don't know what type of class. I have text proving that he's in class. If you want me to show you, Your Honor. He said he had class.
Hold on.
I did.
He says I have text proving he's in class.
Dude, like this is like, even if you did, like, it doesn't mean that the homeboy ain't your homeboy and ain't gonna lie for you, and that your other friend that was like, oh, I'll swear that you didn't drink either. I mean, you go through, there's seriously that many fail safes for them that are put in place so they know if it was a consumption or an absorption event. He just testified to it. I don't see how he's going to get around this scientifically. I don't think the judge is going to buy it. I don't think anybody's buying it, no matter what.
If they get the barber there, the barber that's traveling and teaching and doing everything else other than barbering.
Yeah, right, that's conveniently teaching a class all day today, so
All
it
right.
can
Well,
be in court.
I'm
Like,
going to ruin it.
sure.
I'm going to ruin it. They get the barber.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Let's roll in. They'll get the barber.
For him to be here today.
Let's hear it.
He's in class or he's teaching a class?
He's teaching a class.
So counsel, you don't want to subpoena him?
Your Honor, if that is a trial shift, I usually don't because the other two witnesses and my client could testify that he was here and he provided the letter. The only reason I don't do that, Your Honor, is because sometimes when I subpoena witnesses against their will, especially when it disrupts their job, they come in and they are aggressively negative. If the court would be willing to adjourn maybe one day for the barber to come in, if that'd be helpful to the court, we do believe he's willing to testify based on his letter.
Yeah.
Well, all right, well, let me also just say this, right? I mean, the witness may come in aggressive, but at the end of the day, the truth's the truth, right? Whether it's aggressively testified to or not.
In my experience, sometimes the truth changes based on people's disposition, Your Honor, but I understand the court's point.
Fine, you'll come back on the 6th, on Wednesday,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
at 8:30.
In the morning?
Yes, I'm not, and you've been doing that for 2 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, at first it was at a different location. He recently moved and that's where I cut him out.
Okay. And when you, and this may sound silly, but I'm gonna ask you some detail about the haircut. So walk me through your haircut with Mr. Sneed.
Yep, so whenever I start a haircut, obviously I set up there. I come with a chair, a table, and all of my equipment, so hence the travel barber name. Sit down. For him, I usually do a full round fade, and then I do beard, so I make my own kind of hair care product, so I use all my own stuff. At the end of each haircut, I always use disinfectant, because I've never been the type of person who wants to give people bumps. It's like a barber's death sentence, giving somebody bumps. So yep, it usually goes to the fade, then it goes to the shave, the fade, any clippings on the top, then I do the beard, trim down the beard, blow dry, and then I always finish with the disinfectant. My disinfectant that I use is anywhere from 90 to 99% alcohol, and then aftershave. Because using Pinnacles or Clubman's aftershave, the whole bottle is a little more expensive than buying 99% alcohol. So I always mix them. It's usually anywhere from 3/4 to 1/4 Clubman aftershave.
Clubman?
Yeah, it's called Clubman.
CLUB?
Yep,
MIN? Okay,
MAN, sorry.
MAN, Clubman. Okay. And so you mix 3/4 of the alcohol and to 1/4 of the Clubman.
Yes.
Okay. And you've been doing this for how long with Mr. Sneed?
So far as how long I've been cutting his hair?
Yes.
About 2 years.
Okay, and you've been using the same products on them?
Yes, I use that for everybody, just to start the Clubman, because it's a little more pricier than the 99% alcohol.
Okay. And I'm just making sure that the court recorder is still connected. And you had a conversation with Mr. Sneed regarding the ingredients in the items that you use.
Just through casual conversation during haircuts, because sometimes I get into people's eyes, and then by me doing the whole beard and then a whole shave, I usually do a spray, and then I do a touch up with it's like tissue paper that you use to wrap the neck. So I go around the mouth and the neck and stuff like that. So usually when people are trying to wonder what the smell is, I usually tell them what it is.
Okay, and so you spray it?
Yep, sometimes I spray for the whole head, just because it's easier. And then I use tissue paper to go around the line up of the beard and then the neck and then the mustache.
Okay, and so that's, I'm going to presume, so the tissue paper absorbs more of it so it doesn't burn the skin?
Yes.
Okay. And then you do that around the lineup, you said around the top of the beard and then under the neck?
Yep.
Okay. And then What do you do for the head? You use a spritzer?
Sometimes I use a spray. If I don't have to, because when you fade, most of the section of the hair that's bald, so it's just skin. So I usually do a spray, or sometimes I just do with the tissue paper. I just kind of go through, especially if the skin is kind of irritated.
Okay. And so did you do that for Mr. Sneed the last time you did his haircut?
Yes.
Do you recall if you used the spray or the tissue paper on his head?
Because by him getting a fade, so people who have, because, can I show?
Go right ahead.
He usually gets a fade up to here, so all of this is bald. So I usually go around and I spray the neck. Now, sometimes he gets irritation, and you can see some of these bumps right here. I use tissue paper.
Oh, okay, I understand. Okay. And so do you have his next appointment scheduled?
No, he has not scheduled his next one.
Okay. And is it typically, I think you said it was a fill-in appointment. So does that mean that he didn't really have one on the books? And that it was like a last minute appointment?
Yes.
Is that typically how his appointments go?
Yeah, we usually, because a lot of times I have a cutoff for my appointments, and I usually kind of fill them in, because I have some clients who are efficient so far as when they book, and then some that kind of book a little late because of their work schedule and then kind of my schedule. So I always tell all my clients, because I have subscription clients and my personal clients, I say, hey, anytime that you need to schedule an appointment, just reach out to me and I'll try to fit you in. So I believe that it was a fill-in appointment because there was also somebody else that I was going to cut. So technically you can't book that time because it would be like 2 hours and 30 minutes out that window. So I just said, hey, I think this time I'll be free. I'll just come by.
Okay. And so do you have that app on your phone?
Yes.
You have your phone with you?
Yes.
Can you pull it out? I just want to see if you can confirm when his appointment was.
Okay, so on November 13th, I said, hey, my ETA is 8:30.
Okay, so that was a Monday, November 13th. That's yes?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And so, do you have a name for your mixture that you call your alcohol and Clubman mixture?
I just say disinfectant or alcohol, just to make it easier, because it's part aftershave, so I really just call it just aftershave. Because I like for it to have a scent, because nobody likes to smell of just straight alcohol. So I usually do. So I would say aftershave.
Okay. And so are there any other products that you use on Mr. Sneed?
So I use my, what's the name? So I use I call it Wet My Beard, because I make my own beard line and hair skin line. So it's Wet My Beard. Then I do my own hair hydrator spray. And then I use my oil as well.
Okay. And so is that known as anything else, or just Wet My Beard? Or
yeah, it's called Wet My Beard, the hair hydrator, and then my growth oil. Those are only 3 products that I use. So aside from the alcohol itself.
Okay. Does anybody call it beard crack?
No.
That's my cousin that calls it that, so he wouldn't know that part.
Oh, okay.
He does also. I sell all my
and
products.
Is your cousin Prince?
No.
I'm sorry, what was that, sir?
I sell all my products, so he has his brother buys for me. Prince had asked for some. I have different people because he usually hooks me up with at least 3 or 4 or more people that wants to buy stuff. I use them as a candidate for years.
Okay. Okay.
Would you call it beard crack?
All right. And so, Mr. Quartz, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask?
Beard crack.
Just quickly, Your Honor, sir, to the best of your knowledge, before we were on the stand today, have I ever spoken to you?
No.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. I appreciate you coming in, sir.
Cool.
Have a good day. Be careful on your travels.
Thank you.
We're all set. Any reason that Mr. Varner has to stick around?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I do learn a lot about the barber process. All right. Okay. And counsel, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
So what do you think, Alli? How do you think it's going to go?
I think it's 100% his buddy, but I don't think she can prove that. So I don't know. I think it could go either way. Like she could go with the science, but she could also give him the benefit of the doubt and say, all right, this is your very last warning. Like, no, nothing. Which she tends to often do. I think that's what she's going to do. I think she's going to say, this is your last warning. But yeah, I think it's his buddy, and he drank. That's what I think.
Yep. Well, I thought about you with this because you was talking about how he was in denial, not telling anybody, trying to cover things up.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, I was like, that's a perfect, this one right here is an example of just the truth is right there.
Well, yeah, and it's obvious, like, if that's his buddy, like, he's still hanging around friends that are not good for him, that are about that party lifestyle and not looking out for him. Otherwise, friends would be like, hey, you need to stay away from anything. If we're going to go get shaves today, we need to make sure that there's not going to be any alcohol in it because you're out on bond and you don't, or whatever you're on tether, you can't do this. Like, that's what friends are supposed to do. Those are the friends you keep in your life, the ones that are being the bad influences, the negative influences, the one that are saying, yeah, it's okay if you're a little bit bad. It's no big deal. Those are the ones you got to stay away from when you're dealing with being on probation or on bond. You got to stay away from those people. You should stay away from those people in general, but still, that's my theory.
Okay. Well, I think everybody's saying, Fozzie's saying he's definitely going down for it. Gina thinks he gets off.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But I think you got a point there. But he definitely drank. Now my son, he's got that scram monitor on, and his was beeping, and he had to set up an appointment to go get it checked, and found out that it hadn't been working for over 2 months.
Oh my goodness!
And it was beeping, and that's all he knew to go check. And so I was terrified he was going to get a violation of probation, just because it wasn't working. And and then I got cheap and said, hey, if y'all hadn't been monitoring it for 2 months, why are we paying $100 a week for you to monitor something you're not monitoring?
Right.
And I think we just kind of all fell along the way of, hey, you don't tell we didn't do our job, we won't tell that he didn't have it working.
Well, I guess that works. Hopefully, it doesn't bite him in the ass.
Well, no, he kept detailed messages, kept detailed stuff, and he's constantly, even like his probation officer, he'll call and not get an answer 3 or 4 times, so he'll text and leave messages. One of the benefits of watching all this court stuff that I watch is I've gotten really good at giving him advice on how to cover his ass.
Yeah, keep records. Cover your ass, keep records of everything. Yep. Absolutely.
No, they didn't give a refund at all. And look, in the end, I'm glad my kid wasn't drinking. In the end, that's that's all that matters. Right. We're paying that thing $100 a week for a babysitter. Is the way I see it.
Right.
It's a babysitter, and it helps him. He says he is proud of it. Because he feels it's helping him. In other words, and for that, good job, Vicky. No, it's a court order. It's certainly not a. It's a court order thing. But as soon as it started beeping, he contacted the company, and so.
But on your the cost thing, the $400 a month. That's how much I have to pay for my methadone clinic. I don't have health insurance, so that's how much it is.
Right. That's crazy. But there's also the one thing that you mentioned with me about the methadone is you have to go there and get it every day.
No, well, I personally don't. I have to go every 2 weeks, thank God. But yeah, if you're new in the program, you have to go every single day, except for Sundays.
Even 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a pain in the ass to go to an appointment.
Yeah, it is a thing. I could take a month. I could take a month out, so I could go every month. But the reason I go in every 2 weeks is because that's when I go in and I am on a slow taper. So every time I go in, I taper down. I don't want to taper down once a month. I want to taper down once every 2 weeks. So that's why I do 2 weeks.
Now, whenever you go there, they're not doing any blood work or anything like that, right?
No, I have monthly UAs that come randomly. So I don't know when they will, but I know that I have one every month.
Okay. But when you go there, is there anyone to talk to you, or are they just filling a prescription, sending you on your way? Or
yeah,
is there any counseling?
Well, yeah, Yeah, I have a counselor that I talk to, that I can talk to for anything. I've got an app where I can message her and she'll message me right back. And so she manages all of the like the mental health aspects of it. Then they have a doctor that I have to meet with at least quarterly for my dosage. And then a nurse is who I see to fill my prescription every time I go in. She does the dosage. I have to take a dose right there in front of her, and then she gives me 13 take home doses.
Okay, so I may have not listened to you. I'm good at that. Is this court
Okay.
ordered, or is this just you
No,
doing it on your own?
no, none of this was court ordered. I just did it on my own. As soon as my husband found out that that's what was the deal with me, he was like, "No, you need to get help, or I'm going to leave you." And of course, I didn't want to lose him, so I was like, "Okay, I think that I can." Started looking into methadone clinics, and I found one that was an hour bus ride away every day, each way, so 2 hours round trip,
Okay,
and went every single day.
okay, but they still do. I don't know what
They
that's
do
about.
do court. They do court ordered management there though, so like they do deal with that. So they do work with the court. So people that have court ordered outpatient treatment, they do that there. So they treat those people too there.
Yeah.
So some people do have to go to it for court ordered management. I just did it on my own because, and they when you first go in, you are there for a couple of hours where they do a full mental health assessment. They do a full medical assessment. You tell them what like a whole drug history is, everything you've ever used ever, in detail, and then they start you on a slow taper up. They start you out like I can't remember if it was 30 or 60 milligrams of methadone. They start you out. I want to say it was 30, and then you could go up every 3 days, like X amount. I want to say it was like 5 milligrams every 3 days. You could go up and step up. You had to do it gradually because they didn't want to give you a large dose and then have you OD right there because that's bad.
I'm sure.
So yeah, you can just
I'm
keep
sure it would be the
increasing
first time somebody overdosed there.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, you have to test I believe you have to test dirty when you're there. Like, so that way it's not somebody who has nothing in their system. They give a high dose like that because 30 milligrams to a novice would definitely put you on your ass. That would put me on my ass right now.
Thank you, Jay from Michigan.
Oh, thank you, Jay. Appreciate that.
A real quick question: Is it a spooky place there? Is there a bunch of? I'm trying to think. What was the word that Lena's called it? Junkies there?
Actually, the actual office itself is beautiful. The one I used to go was in a shadier part of town. The one I go to now is in a nicer part of town in a really beautiful office and very well lit. And the people who come in and out are definitely characters. I can testify to that. But it's not in a shady part of town. The place I go to now, where I used to go to, it was really shady. Like cars got broken into every single day. It was hella shady. But not the one I go to now.
Do you get to know anybody there, or is it? I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't know any of the other people who go there. I just know the staff. So no, I didn't have any relationships or know anybody who went to the clinics. I would see the same people every morning, and I would say hi, but that was about as far as it would go. I never developed any type of friendships with them.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I think Victoria was saying to get on with it. So.
Okay, yeah, let's get on with it. Let's see if this guy goes down.
So it's actually a very interesting process, right? And that, and I hear that the combination of the disinfectant that's put on your face, your skin, or what have you, does contain alcohol. I also heard the testimony that
Bill, move your mouse.
You've been using these products for 2 years. Yeah, you haven't tested positive for alcohol from these products before. Right. So see where I'm going with that?
This time's different because I'm on a tether. So that's scanning me 24/7.
Right. But you also have had random testing and you haven't tested positive for alcohol from the hair products. That's my point.
My haircuts probably don't line up with my random testing. while the tether stands 24/7.
Okay. I'm gonna let Mr. Varner know because he's still here that, whether it's beard crack or not, or whatever else there is, you can't have any products with alcohol in them.
Yeah, he knows that.
So I don't know if there's some other stuff, but I also, sir, based on the testimony of Mr. Stradley, right, even with this, I mean, no disrespect when I say concoction, I just don't know what else to call it. It doesn't appear from the testimony that that would be what would have caused that alcohol event and to go up to a 0.057.
Your Honor, my only response to that would be, he specifically said, if I remember his testimony correctly, that he wasn't able to give testimony about the ingestion or the absorption, and he also gave direct testimony that the disappearance rate would be the exact same. So I don't think that his testimony would have any relevance to if it was. And I would also just say, Your Honor, this text message was preserved in time and timestamp. It's an extreme coincidence that the time range he'd be getting a haircut would be the time for drinking, especially with his time badge for work at roughly 3 a.m. It would be an odd time to decide to drink during a haircut and preparing for work. Also, he has two witnesses that were with him the entire time, one that slept next to him from the haircut to his job that will testify he didn't drink. And I would say, Your Honor, that is a lot of proof that this alcohol product caused the testing off.
Okay. All right. I hear, I heard all the testimony, and if I recall what Mr. Stradley testified to is that he couldn't testify what caused, that alcohol caused the event, but how that alcohol ended up in the system, he could not testify to. That's what his testimony was. So. You are told what products you can and cannot use when you were placed on the tether.
Incorrect.
Incorrect?
Yes.
Okay, the testimony on Monday was different.
So, Your Honor, I think he said that he may have received papers, but he may be saying that he wasn't verbally told.
He wasn't what?
Verbally told when I got my tether. Heather can testify against it. All they told me was don't ingest alcohol. Because we asked about medicine, and they said don't ingest no type of alcohol. That's all they told me.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go off the record for just one moment.
Friend/roommate available for testimony if you'd like to hear from her too.
Okay, and where is she?
Right here.
Oh, so she's been in the courtroom the entire time?
No, I've been in the car with
Hold on, ma'am. Yeah, you're not identified for the record yet. When did she come into the courtroom?
I don't have knowledge, Your Honor. I told her to stay in the car, but I believe my client texted her when you went on break, but I'd like to confirm that.
Okay, when did she come in the courtroom?
When you went to break, I texted her. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fine. I'll hear from her.
Okay, could you come up, ma'am?
And good morning. Your name, please?
Good morning.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this Mary the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I swear.
All right. And so, ma'am, how do you know Mr. Sneed?
He is a long-term family friend, and then he is also my boyfriend.
And how long has he been your boyfriend?
For about the last 2 months.
Okay. And do you reside with Mr. Sneed?
Yes, we just got a house together.
And how long have you been residing with Mr. Sneed?
Since the beginning of October.
So the beginning or indirect?
Beginning of October.
Okay. And do you work?
I did this morning. I came home at 5 p.m. promptly because I left at 4. And then I was home for the rest of the night evening.
Okay, and so who else was there?
It was me, Matthew, and then our other roommate friends.
Okay.
Till TC came over to get the haircut.
Okay, and so then what happened?
And then we were sitting there, me and Prince were in the living room watching the NBA basketball game while TC cut Matthew's hair in the kitchen. After that, we proceeded, then Matthew came and watched the game with me on the couch. And then Prince proceeded to get his haircut. And then TC wrapped up his stuff, left, and then we went to bed. Due to him having to be to work at 7:30 or 3:30, and we had to be to work at 7:30.
Okay, and so what time did you all head to bed?
We had to bed pretty like 9:30, 10-ish. Once Prince finished his haircut, TC wrapped up and went in, so we went to bed.
The basketball game?
She's just waiting for someone to
Did you
sleep.
recall which basketball game?
I do not. I will say I'm a football girl, not a basketball. They're trying to teach me, but I didn't have no knowledge. I'm trying. It's not working.
I'm a basketball, but I'm more of a football girl than a basketball girl myself. But were you and Prince having any drinks or anything?
No, I have taken. There is no alcohol in the house.
Okay.
I even switched our mouthwash to alcohol-free mouthwash just due to his habit.
Okay. And were you with Mr. Sneed the entire time?
Yes, all day, from the time I got home to the time that he went to work the next morning.
Except when he was getting his haircut, you were in a different room.
Well, technically a different room, but it's all open, so you can still see everything.
Are there any walls that separate rooms?
There's one tiny wall, but when you walk into our front door and it's into our living room and our kitchen, and there's a doorway right there, a tiny wall where I have our catch-all stand and our calendar, and another doorway to where the wall is probably maybe 5 foot long. But the whole time, our couch is here, the doorway is here, and Matthew was getting his cut in that doorway right there. I saw him the entire time.
Okay. And so at some point, I mean, you went to bed, and so Mr. C went to bed the same time you did?
Correct.
Okay. And so Mr. Quartz, any questions for Ms. Halstead?
Just one, ma'am. On November 13th, did you witness Mr. Schneed consume alcohol at all?
Not at all.
That's all I have to.
No, I could recite the game.
I'm sorry?
I could recite the game.
Who was playing?
The Wizards and the Raptors. I had a bet on.
One.
So Raptors.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. And so, counsel, any other witnesses? Are you having your client testify?
I would like to put my clients.
Okay, maybe you can have a seat, thank you. Sir, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and so counsel?
Thank you, Mr. Schneed, on November 13th, at any point did you drink the alcohol?
No.
And you've heard the other witnesses' testimony, correct?
Yes.
Is everything they said true?
Yes.
And it is my understanding that you did go to work roughly at 3 in the morning, maybe 3:13 a.m.
Yes, I had an open shift that day because my senior called off.
What does that mean?
Because my senior's open shift. I'm the site manager, so I don't show up until 6. But my senior called off, so I had to open the shift and close it.
And what is the length of your shift, sir, that day? Do you know roughly?
I left about 2:30 that day, 3 o'clock.
In the afternoon?
Yep.
So that's roughly a 12-hour shift?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay. Okay, so you said that you got rid of the alcohol, you have alcohol-free mouthwash?
Yes.
Okay, and when did you begin that?
We began that after we talked to the tether people, because while we were in the tether, per a conversation I had with my mother about the situation, because I was the one to go get Matthew from jail and all of that, and I explained to her that we had to go to the tether station to get the 30-day alcohol tether. And she's the one that explained to me, she brought to me, she goes, if he gets sick or something like that, he can't take any NyQuil. I said, what do you mean? Like, because I've never experienced anything like this before, and I know Matthew never has either. So I was trying to also, maybe my mom is my confined, so I talked to her about everything, and she has past experiences with people she's helped. And she said, you know, due to that, he can't consume anything with alcohol. And when we were at the station or the tether place, I asked him as we were leaving because we got a paper from them, but it didn't state anything. Like all it stated on there was who his probation officer was and the fees and the cost attached to the tether. It didn't say anything specific, and I remember telling you that. So that's when I asked the young boy there, I said, hey, per a conversation I had with my mother, she said something about like NyQuil and stuff like that. Is that true? And he said, yes, he cannot consume anything with alcohol in it. And he said, so like mouthwashes, anything like that. So that's when I went home and I looked at like things that he was consuming and it was going into his mouth and potentially into his bloodstream like that. And I got that free mouthwash. He actually did get sick and he was sick for about a week. I even looked up alcohol-free medicines like Sudafed and stuff like that because I was aware of him consuming stuff like that. And he actually went and taken some different.
That's someone on camera. Hold on. That's someone on camera. Someone in the video making all that damn noise.
Yeah, it's not me.
yeah. Whenever I was editing it, I was hearing all the noise, and this was, I think this was around January, February, maybe March. So I'm saying this one's going a while, but yeah, there was a pile of damn noise in the background. And so
funny. Yeah, like there's not always background noise at DeSantos Court, though. If it's not a stapler or a stamp, it's something. So
hey,
it's to be expected.
That brings up a good comment. Hey, Victoria, who in the world in Judge Fleischer's court is just slamming on a damn stapler right in front of a microphone all day? There's somebody just giving a stapler hell in that court all day. And so, I don't know. Let me know, Victoria. We're going to finish this one up.
But that's all we were told was that he was able to consume.
And so nobody thought that the concoction involving the alcohol for the aftershave or after the haircut, well, nobody thought about that.
I'll admit I would have thought about that. I can see where they maybe didn't, but I was unaware of what they used. It wasn't until after the fact of that he brought up the fact of we got the paperwork and that happened. He said, oh, well, TC used his stuff that has alcohol in it. I go, well, we should have maybe thought about that, but I was unaware of that. And then TC wasn't aware of the situation, so he wasn't going to think of that either. But I potentially would have thought about it. I will admit though, I maybe wouldn't have, but I wasn't aware of this product use. But we are trying everything we possibly can to do this and do everything correctly. But like I said, we were told consumption. We weren't told anything about applying or anything like that. We were told consumption. And then once we saw about the applying, that's when he stopped using deodorant, our lotions. Actually, I did have deodorant for a while, and we had to go to the store. That's when we went to buy more. We made sure absolutely nothing had alcohol in it, since we were now notified of this.
Okay. And so, Mr. Sneed, you've had the alcohol tether on since what date?
The 10th. That Friday I got out of jail. Then I got my haircut on that Monday.
Gina, it's in Michigan. This is in Michigan.
All right.
Yep.
After hearing testimony from Mr. Stradley, Mr. Varner, Ms. Halstead, and Mr. Sneed, the court, there's no doubt that there was alcohol in your system. How that alcohol got there, Mr. Stradley indicated he couldn't testify as to how that got there. However, there was alcohol in your system. You're not to have any alcohol in your system. You also have had these haircuts going on for a couple of years now, and you haven't, other than the matter by which you were in jail for your probation violation hearing, you didn't test positive for alcohol any other time. And I understand that there may be a difference between the tether and the testing. The testimony was not conclusive as to whether or not it was consumed orally or if it ended up in your system through absorption. what is clear is that the event began at 9:24 p.m. Well, as of 9:24 p.m., it was still zeros. You had your haircut at 8:30. Mr. Prince, your roommate, had his hair done after yours, and that you and Ms. Halstead went to bed 9:30, 10 o'clock. Then the highest level, the peak of 0.057 was 11:27 p.m. So it's continuing to rise. And it doesn't sound, based on the testimony, that there's a significant amount of alcohol going on your skin. While, yes, it's being directly applied to your skin, it doesn't appear, it's not pure alcohol. And while it's sprayed in the small spot as to what your barber showed, that coupled with the tissue that was applied doesn't seem to be, it doesn't appear, and counsel, you're aware that the burden of proof is by preponderance of the evidence. It doesn't appear as though that was enough to absorb into your system and output a 0.057 reading on the tether. And maybe I'm incorrect, but it doesn't appear, based on the testimony and what I'm reviewing with the absorption rate, the elimination rate, that, and what the testimony was regarding the disinfectant that's applied, that would be a significant enough level, bless you, to then absorb and result in an output of 0.057 on the tether. So there's what the court is going to order for its sentencing.
If you look, main ingredient in the alcohol beverage and the Clubman lotion that he uses is ethanol. That's the number one ingredient in both of them, and it's the strongest ingredient.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but did you drink it?
The Clubman is only 25% of that ingredient.
But it still holds ethanol in it, as an alcohol beverage does as well.
I understand that, but your argument that because an alcoholic beverage has the ethanol in it, and so is the Clubman, that's the main ingredient. The testimony was that there was only a quarter of that utilized in the disinfecting component that is sprayed on you. I understand that there's alcohol also. I understand that, but the statement that your client made was the ethanol.
Yes, sir.
The court is going to adopt the recommendation in part. The court's going to order you to continue probation. The court's going to order 30 days jail. I'm going to suspend that jail, sir. We're going to do a jail review, and I'm going to extend your tether. So we're going to do a jail review February 12th. Does that date work for you, counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
At 8:30 a.m. And then the tether will be extended until January 3rd. Any questions?
No, Your Honor. No, thank you very much, Your Honor. Actually, I have one.
Yes.
So you say jail review, it pushes it to the 12th. So do I just gotta stay clean on this until the January 3rd?
What does that mean?
Like, what do you mean by jail review?
So you're still on probation, so you still have all your conditions that you need to fulfill on probation and that you need to comply with.
Mm-hmm.
You also, in addition to that, there's a jail review that this court's going to hold on February 12th. If there's any, I'm just giving you fair warning, sir. Any violation of any term of your probation, any positive reading on your tether, you're serving that 30 days.
Okay, that's all.
So, Mr. Varner, Varner, knows that he has to do something different on you, unless he wants to see you go to jail. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But I also, sir, just let's be very clear on this. I do not believe that that is why your tether reading was a 0.057.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we'll see if you can go the next 6 weeks without using any alcohol.
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
All right, I'm gonna jump out of that one because we damn sure ain't got time to do another one. So,
yeah, but I was right. She ended up letting him go. Hopefully, he can stay clean for the next 6 weeks, or else he's got 30 days of jail hanging over his head. But yeah, he had to have ingested it, and she didn't have any way to prove that. Like, she kind of did, but then she had all the testimony, and I think she's just like, okay, dude, I'm gonna call your bluff. If you can not fuck this up for 6 weeks, then I'll believe you. But let's throw down and see who wins. So
well, and she also yes, and I think she kind of wore him out. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow, Victoria. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Victoria.
But yeah. So anybody that was curious of what I was making, my wife has a little tape dispenser, and it's that little white wheel right there. And so,
would you break it? What'd you need another one for?
She said she broke it or lost it. She doesn't remember, but anyways, it was an excuse to make something today. And Linus was talking about not having the patience. Yeah, my last thing that I made was 18 hours to print it, and I was actually talking about ordering another printer and having it delivered by the time that damn thing was made. And so, but they're kind of high dollar, so it's worth it to be patient with it. But thank you so much, Victoria, for sticking out so long, and thank you everybody for watching. I like that one because we hear about the scrams every day, but this was good to have an expert actually talk to about it. And he made it very clear there is no false positives. It's either alcohol present or alcohol not. There's 6 different things.
And I've seen an expert in Judge Simpson give a presentation too that did the same thing, just broke it down. It was like, even like I sat there and I tried to like put it on my skin and test the scram like right there where there was like a dollop of hand sanitizer on the scram, and it still didn't produce the same readings, and like they went through everything. So yeah, I mean, you can't fake those things out. Like, it's really, really hard.
No.
And any other excuse that you pull in front of them, the judge has heard before. Like, I don't know why anybody thinks that they're smarter than that. But.
Well, and there's such a curve. There's a curve of, just like whenever you drink, there's a level of intoxication and then a withdrawal on it, and so, they can, they can see the curve on it. I think she wore him down. The amount of time that they spent in the courtroom, to me would have taught me the lesson.
Yeah, seriously.
And we also got to remember, it's not the judge's goal to just put everybody in jail. It's the judge's goal that people follow the rules. And if this wore him down, now I'm convinced he was drinking. There's no doubt in my mind he was drinking.
He was watching the game. He got a haircut with his boys. He was having a beer. That's what happened. Like, let's just face it. That's what happened. But hopefully he doesn't have a problem. I mean, it doesn't sound like he's around good influences if they all knew he was on bond, but I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I think me and Gina think the same. She wore us down on it.
I think so too.
But, all right, thank you guys so much. Thank you all for what you guys are doing for our channel and for the show.
Yes, please help Meg if you can. Meg is going through a hard time with the hurricane. She got hit pretty hard. You guys all know her, Meg's Crime Watch. You guys all know and love her channel. She
and
does
it's
great
easy,
work.
it's easy to turn it on and watch for a few hours with there. It's she does the follow
Great
up.
content.
So like this one with Judge DeSanto, that's as much a compilation as I'm ever going to put together. That right there was way too much, and that was early on when I first started, and I don't have the heart for that. I leave that to the professionals like Meg. Go to her channel and find a case that you like, and just binge watch on it. Consider it a Netflix season and just watch the hell out of it. But
leave a comment saying you're thinking about her or something like that. Leave a like, things like that. All those things help her. Don't cost you a dime.
And I'm certain she's got donate stuff too. So just giving you a heads up, when you donate on YouTube gets a good piece of that. Go to the GoFundMe, or I'm sure she's got some other links, some a Venmo or PayPal or something like that. Links that way they don't just make a ton of money. I'm not here to make YouTube money, and Meg could use every penny you got. Certainly not YouTube money. Linus, make sure to go over to her GoFundMe. You're gonna feel guilty coming to America when everybody else is trying to dig out from a hurricane.
Muse just got here. Sorry you missed it, buddy. You have to play crew it.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right, Muse. We're gonna leave it up just for you. Just let us know when you're done watching it so we can delete it.
Tomorrow is my birthday stream, so if you guys could all come out tomorrow the same time, 9:00 Eastern, and just come by and say hi and wish me happy birthday. That's all I want. Is if you want to do something extra special, then vote, because that's what my plans are. I'm going to vote. That's my plans. I'm very excited about that. And come out tomorrow night. It'll be fun.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Tiff, for bringing that link for us. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great night.
Thanks.